Hey folks, I've been getting a ton of messages lately about this new gaming PC that's been blowing up the forums and Reddit threads. Everyone's asking whether it lives up to the hype, and honestly I was curious too because the specs look solid enough to handle just about any modern title at high settings. So I pulled the CyberPowerPC Gamer Xtreme VR gaming PC out of the box, ran a few benchmarks, and thought I'd give you the rundown before you decide to spend your hard-earned cash. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I'm going to walk through what matters most when you're actually planning to sit down and game, stream, or even do a bit of creative work on this machine. First off, the heart of this rig is an Intel i7-13700KF running at 3.4 GHz. That CPU gives you plenty of headroom for multitasking, so you can have Discord, Spotify, and a game all running without the system hiccuping. In my own test, I left a YouTube livestream on while diving into a 1440p match of Elden Ring, and the frame rate stayed buttery smooth, no stutters, no lag spikes. If you're the type who likes to keep a bunch of tabs open while you game, that extra cores and threads really shine. The graphics card is a GeForce RTX 4070 with 12GB of VRAM, which puts you comfortably into the 1440p and even decent 4K territory for most titles. I tossed the RTX 4070 into a few graphics-intensive games like Cyberpunk 2077 and Horizon Forbidden West, and it maintained steady 60+ FPS with ultra settings on. For folks who love VR, the card meets the recommended specs, so you won't feel the motion blur that cheap GPUs often introduce. Plus, the card's hardware-accelerated ray tracing adds that realistic lighting glow in games that support it, making the experience feel more immersive. Now, everyone talks about storage, and this rig comes with a 1TB NVMe SSD paired with a 2TB HDD. The SSD boots Windows 11 Home in under 10 seconds, and loading times for large worlds drop dramatically. I installed my favorite mod pack for Minecraft, and worlds that used to take a minute to load now appear in a few seconds. The extra 2TB HDD is handy for storing a growing library of games, media, or even raw footage if you're into content creation. No need to constantly juggle external drives, everything fits right inside. Connectivity is another area where the Xtreme VR doesn't disappoint. It has built-in Wi-Fi 6, which means you get a stable wireless connection without hunting for the best router spot. I tested the Wi-Fi while streaming a 1080p gameplay session on Twitch, and the upload stayed steady at around 10 megabits per second with virtually no packet loss. It also includes a full set of USB-C and USB-A ports, plus a dedicated Ethernet jack if you prefer a wired link for those competitive matches where every millisecond counts. A practical benefit that's easy to overlook is the inclusion of free lifetime tech support from CyberPowerPC. I hit a snag with a driver update a couple of weeks after I got the box, opened a support ticket, and got a clear answer within a day. That kind of ongoing assistance can save a lot of frustration, especially if you're not comfortable digging through forums for solutions. Plus, the machine comes with a 1-year parts and labor warranty, so you're covered for any hardware defects that might pop up early on. When it comes to the everyday experience, I've found a few. For most buyers, the real question is not whether CyberPowerPC Gamer Xtreme VR gaming PC, Intel i7-13700KF 3.4 GHz, GeForce RTX 4070 12GB, 32GB DDR5, 1TB NVMe SSD, 2TB HDD, Wi-Fi ready and Windows 11 Home, GeForce 8760A. Black sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like system and graphics actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off. It is also smart to think about long-term satisfaction. A product like CyberPowerPC Gamer Xtreme VR gaming PC, Intel i7-13700KF 3.4 GHz, GeForce RTX 4070 12GB, 32GB DDR5, 1TB NVMe SSD, 2TB HDD, Wi-Fi ready and Windows 11 Home, GeForce 8760A. Black usually feels like the better buy when it stays convenient, comfortable, and reliable in normal everyday use instead of only looking good in the listing.